Why is YouTube making me sign in to chat when I already just signed in? Screw this. I'm going to do it a different way. So anyway, hey everybody, how's it going? Just doing a live stream here very quickly. Let me get the chat open. Sorry. Why is this taking so long? All right, here we go. Probably going to get a feedback loop here in a second. Okay, so the whole point of this stream today, or the whole reason why I thought to do this, well, number one, I'm too lazy to actually record a video and edit it and do all of that on this topic. But this is something that I wanted to talk about for the electronic drummers out there. Which one should you buy? EZDrummer 3 or Superior Drummer 3? Both are products by TuneTrack, and both of them have their ups and downs, or their benefits and their opposite of benefits. So like really the first, and my first answer, the easiest answer, is both, actually, and I'll explain why that I say you should get both here in a second. But if you can only afford one, then I would suggest EZDrummer 3. EZDrummer 3, like out of the box, is fantastic sounding. It basically has something in there for every drummer. If you want like a really lively, bright sound, it has stuff like that. If you want something that's more, like dead and kind of singer-songwritery, it has that kind of stuff. It has some metal type sounds in there. And just out of the box, everything is mixed incredibly well in EZDrummer 3. I mean, I usually have to adjust things a little bit, but for the most part, it's pretty darn close. My main criticism is, well, it's just kind of my personal taste for mixing drums, is a lot of times I find the cymbals to be too low in the mix. But that's just pretty common. I think that about a lot of drummers that I hear. They kind of bury their cymbals a little bit, which I'm not really sure why. Like, I really like to hear my cymbals. So, but anyway, I mean, overall, though, it is really, really good, just out of the box. Superior Drummer 3, on the other hand, is not. When you first kind of open up, patches in Superior Drummer 3, like the stock, settings and everything, it kind of sounds a little bit dead and like just not very, not dead like as in muffled, but just not very lively. I don't know. There's just something weird about the way it is mixed by default in Superior Drummer 3. But that is not to say that you can't get an incredible sound with Superior Drummer 3 if you sit there and tweak it and take the time to really learn it and play with the layering and the extensive mixing features that it has and plugins and all kinds of stuff. Superior Drummer 3 has way more features than EZDrummer 3. But if you want kind of like a great drum sound for less money and you don't have to mess with it as much, then EZDrummer 3 is the way to go, in my opinion. And the reason why I said both, though, why I prefer to have both, is because, like I said before, the EZDrummer 3 library sounds incredible, but it's even better when you open it up in Superior Drummer 3, which you can do. So if you have Superior Drummer 3 and EZDrummer 3, you can actually open all of the patches for EZDrummer 3 in Superior Drummer 3, and then you have the full access. Like, they still sound just as good as they do in EZDrummer 3, but then you have full access to complete mixing and layering and every little detail that you could possibly want within the Superior Drummer 3 interface, which is really nice. The last video that I did that, actually, and I'll pull it up here real quick. Oh, wait, that's the wrong thing. This is where I'm looking at the chat, so how can I get this back? Anyway, here, hold on. I guess I won't see chat for a little while. Let's go here. Computer's being very slow right now. All right, let me open this up again. I want to unmute.
Something a little like thunder.
God, my computer's being so laggy. I guess because I'm
streaming. Better make way, 'cause I'm coming now. Make way, make way, make way. Taking space within the sky. I got that boom boom so high.
So this particular video recording that I did here, I'm using Superior Drummer 3, but I'm using the EZDrummer 3 library, as well as some EZX sounds that I purchased. And kind of what I did on this one is I actually layered some electronic sounds over top of acoustic sounds to kind of give it a more, well, I wanted a sound that kind of matched the song, this Thunder song by Lisa. And I wanted to use there's like a 909 kick in there, but I layered it with an acoustic kick drum sound. And same with the toms and everything, and the snare drum. So it has kind of an electronic edge to it, but it also still has like a nice acoustic, like warmth and tone to it. You can't do layers in EZDrummer 3, but you can do layers in Superior Drummer 3. So that's another big thing to consider. Now, Superior Drummer 3 is quite a bit more expensive than EZDrummer 3. Actually, I can't remember what the price difference is. Let me just check here. So let's see. Products. Easy Line Software Collection. Oh, wait. So Superior or EZDrummer 3, let's start with that one. And by the way, I'm not getting paid by TuneTrack at all for this. I just really like these. I think they're just really great sounding plugins. And where's the price here? Okay, so EZDrummer 3, brand new, if you don't already have EZDrummer 2, is $179. And that gives you, basically everything you need to start replacing your drum sounds in your DAW. Or you can use it standalone as well, which is really nice. And like I said, it just sounds really, really good. Like, I have zero complaints about the sound of this particular plugin. And I've used just EZDrummer 3 on a lot of stuff, not just Superior Drummer 3 with EZDrummer 3 sounds. A lot of times I'll just use EZDrummer 3 because it's easy. Like, you can just get a good sound very, very easily. Now let's take a look at Superior Drummer 3. And I'm surprised, I would guess, if I were to guess, I would think that TuneTrack's next product is probably going to be Superior Drummer 4, because Superior Drummer 3 is actually quite old at this point. It came out, geez, I don't know how long ago, like a pretty long time ago. I would say at least 6 or 7 years ago. And it is $399. It's pretty expensive. And I think you get a upgrade price if you have EZDrummer as well, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, it's not cheap. It is not cheap. So like I was saying though, if you want like just really, really good sounds, you don't want to spend as much, and you don't really care so much about, having the full mixer capabilities. Not that EZDrummer 3 doesn't have a mixer, it's just limited. Each particular patch gives you like certain things. Like one will give you like a compressor, other ones will give you like, like a saturation knob, and like they're kind of random. Like depending on which patch or which EZX you load, the mixer kind of changes according to that EZX. So it's like, depending on what your budget is and what your your real goal is here. Let me get back to the video so I can see the chat here. If there is a chat. No chat. All right. There's people watching, but nobody chatting. Feel free to ask a question if you want to. I can get rid of this too. Can you guys even hear me? That'd be good to know. Actually, here, I can unmute it here and I'll find out. Poll is here. Yeah, it's working. So anyway, okay, Pyramid 7's there. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I was going to give you guys some more examples here, but it's kind of hard to do. What I could do actually is play you some videos and show you and kind of describe what I use for each particular video. And like I said, that Lisa cover, the last video that I showed you was Superior Drummer 3. with some EZDrummer 3 libraries installed, plus some layers. The layers that I used were from an EZX called Number One Hits. Now, that's another thing, actually, I should talk about, are the Number One Hits, or the EZX packs, because those are actually hit or miss as well. Let's go in here and look at the EZXs. EBX, not E. Here we go. So look out for sales. Some of these I bought. Like which ones did I buy that I don't really care for very much? There's one here. Where is it? Oh, Electronic Edge. I bought this one thinking I would like it, and I don't think I've ever used this one at all. Like, it's just the samples in this one, I just don't find them inspiring, even though they're interesting. But I did use one time, but, it's kind of a waste of money on that one, I thought. Another one that I did buy that I like quite a bit, actually, I think it's probably my favorite that I purchased, and it was on sale, is UK Pop. Where is that one? Where is it? Somewhere here. It's an older one. Pop. Nashville. Where the hell is that thing? I know it's in here somewhere. Here it is. Yeah, it's a really old one. It's all the way down here on the bottom. But this one sounds incredible. This is one of my favorite ones that I've purchased. I love the snare sounds and the tom sounds in it and the cymbals. Everything about it, it's phenomenal. It just sounds really good. So the UK Pop one I really like. There's one called Modern Metal that I purchased that is here somewhere. And I've got a lot of criticism about that one. Where is that thing? I guess it doesn't really matter if I find where it actually is. But it's just called Modern Metal. And it's good, like, to some extent. Like, the whole reason why I bought it is because it had China cymbals in it. Like, I wanted to have some Chinas to add to my drums. But overall, like, number one, it doesn't sound modern at all. Two, it barely sounds metal. Like, the sounds in there are kind of cool in a way, but they're very kind of dead and garagey sounding, which to me does not sound like modern metal, like, at all. Like, metal, when I think of modern metal, I think of very bright and, like, cutting drum sounds with really clicky bass drums. And that particular EZX does not have any of that. But it does have some cymbals, and there are a couple of snares in there that I like, so I have used it a bit. Yeah, so you really have to listen to all the samples on the EZXs before you purchase them. The ones that I personally like a lot are Number One Hits, UK Pop, and then the Classic Rock one is actually really good, but I have some criticisms about that one, is the crashes don't have any stick tip articulations on them. They're just edge, which is really weird, I think, because it's another really old one. Yeah, let me read some of these comments here. Lucido Da 20 says, I have both, agreed with everything you said so far. Yeah, I mean, it's to have both is kind of the best of both worlds, but I mean, just to get the both with no EZXs, is like what, $4 or $5, like almost $600, which is quite a lot of money. You don't have to buy them all at once, obviously, but yeah, it's a lot. So Les says, hey dude, been super busy, but I have the day off and saw you live, and I never got a chance to hook up any of those DAWs. Is it worth it? I have the TD27, and I think editing capabilities are pretty wild. There's a few people chatting. Can you see us? Yes, I see you. Yeah, the TD27 is nice. Has some good sounds in there, and so does the TD17, which I have. And I was using the TD20 or the 17 for a while there, but honestly, it just doesn't even compare, and neither does the 27. When you start using EZDrummer and Superior Drummer, you'll see that it's like, you're like, man, these sound really, really good. And like, they sound so good on recording. Well, actually there's a new album that I've been working on, and I have what I finished so far on my anthillrecordings.bandcamp page. And, I'll put it in the link here, or in the chat here. But, all the sounds that I've used so far have been from EZDrummer, and I'm really loving the way it sounds. Let me find the link. And this is going to have some more songs on it once I finish. And most of these have already been on YouTube as well, but here it is in the chat if you guys want to hear it. every song on this so far has been recorded with EZDrummer as the drum sounds. And the next couple, I'll probably use Superior Drummer like I have been, in that last video. But the whole advantage, like I said. Oh, as far as core library, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm all over the place. I use the core library, and I use, like all the EZXs. That's why, like, people ask me to share my EZXs, and I do, and I have. But the thing is, in order for most of them to work, you would have to have every single purchase that I have, all the EZXs and all of the, Superior Drummer 3 and the EZDrummer 3 and all that stuff installed on your computer for most of them to work. And core library, are you talking about, I believe in SD3, there's, like, you have like Bleed that you can download and all that stuff. Like, it's like a crazy amount of space. Oh, that's another thing I should mention too. Superior Drummer 3 takes up a ridiculous amount of storage. I think it's like 128 gigabytes or like 256 gigabytes, something like that. It's like absolutely insane. It takes up so much space. EZDrummer 3 is not at all that big, and it sounds just as good. Like I said, it's very, very realistic. But the power of having all those gigs of sounds in SD3 is, like I said before, you have this huge mixer. You can add bleed anywhere you want. You can do buses. It has like many effects. You can layer samples. Like, you could put, for some reason, Alexa or Siri or one of those thought I was talking to it and started answering me. But like, yeah, I mean, it just it's a lot more powerful. And if you have the storage, then, it's worth considering. And if you just want the flexibility of it. Now, Mac users may not want to get Superior Drummer 3 because Macs are notoriously stingy with their storage, and they fill up very quickly. And it's very expensive to get more storage on a Mac. So, PC users might want to tend, towards Superior Drummer 3 more than Mac users, unless you have like a super, powerful Mac. Another thing too, what was I going to say? Now I totally went blank. Anybody have any questions out there they want to ask or anything? Lucido.20 says, I found the core library ambience like really deep and kind of weird for drums. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd have to hear what you're talking about specifically, but like, yeah, I mean, you can mess with the, the room level or ambience level in the mixer and stuff, and turn it up and down. But most of the time it sounds pretty realistic to me. Like I said, I usually tweak everything. Like almost nothing in mine are just, left how it is when you open it up. Some of them are close, but I usually tweak some things, and just, like I'm mixing mixing drums. I do the same thing with EZDrummer or any plugin that I'm using. But they're very flexible. And another thing with EZDrummer 3 is you actually can run multiple outputs from every channel. If you wanted to, you can run them to separate channels within your DAW. I've never done this, but I know you can do it. I've seen videos on how to do it because I've never really felt the need to. Like, there's enough stuff in the mixer and EZDrummer for me to get a sound that I like usually. But if you wanted to, you could route every single, kick, snare, toms, and overheads and all that stuff to all different channels within your DAW, and then process them, individually however you like. So that's also really nice. In Superior Drummer 3, you really don't have to do that because the mixer in there is just as good as the mixer that's inside of your DAW. Yeah. So, and plus there's like different plugins in there that you don't have, in your DAW. But if you wanted to use the ones that you have in your DAW, then yes, you would, you'd run them out into your, your buses or whatever. Or not buses, but just other channels and create the mix that you want to create. And well, you can also, though, another thing in EZDrummer 3 that you couldn't do in EZDrummer 2 is you can actually load your own samples, like custom samples in EZDrummer 3. However, it's very limited. It's just like one shots, and you really can't do much with them. They're just pretty much, they just sound how they sound, and you're pretty much stuck with them that way. You can load your own samples in Superior Drummer 3 as well, and then you have a lot more flexibility there, just like with everything else. You can layer that sample on top of something else. I've personally never felt the need to do this because the samples I have, that come with SD3 or EZ3 are all so good that I've never really felt the need to import any of my own samples. On the TD-17, I did import a lot of my own samples on there, and that actually improved the sound quality of it quite a bit. But now it's like I'm never even using that at all. It took me a little while to get to that point. I used to have a thing where I was like, I like using the module. I don't like having to hook up a computer and all that. But honestly, it's just so much better. Yeah, it's almost like, I can't ever see myself going back to just using a regular drum module. I don't think any of them sound nearly as good as the TuneTrack products. Like even like the brand new Roland's or the Pearl Mimic or, all those F-Note drums, none of them sound as good as TuneTrack stuff to me. The one library that I like a lot is a Signature Part 1. Lucido Da 20 says, kick-ass vintage drums in there. Have I heard that one? I'm not sure I've heard that one. Signature Part 1. Is that in the Superior Drummer 3, you mean? Maybe I have, maybe I do have that one. Because I know Superior Drummer, I've played with actually a lot less than EZDrummer 3. And like, a lot of times in Superior Drummer, I'll just import, EZDrummer stuff and then start building from there because I really like the way those sound compared to the, the stock plugin or the stock setting sounds within Superior Drummer 3. When I first bought Superior Drummer 3, I was actually very disappointed, honestly. And that may happen to you as well. In fact, I was so disappointed I tried to get my money back because I just thought it sounded like crap, which it does. Like when you first open it up and like just load like the default sounds from Superior Drummer 3, it sounds bad. Like it's not that it doesn't sound real. Like it sounds real, but bad real. Like it sounds like bad drums that I wouldn't ever want to use. But like I said, you can fix it. You can make it sound good. But that was really like disappointing to me at first. Until I figured out, how to use it and how to import the EZDrummer 3 sounds and even EZDrummer 2 sounds in there was an improvement over what came with it. Les says, I caught up to you in real time now, but what are the free ones that are out there? I'd like to try it, but I've been busy and just don't think I'd use it. The free ones, there's a couple. I know there's, what's the one? The one that I think sounds the best for free is, what's that guy's name? Slate Audio, I think is what it is. Steven Slate Audio. That one's pretty good. Like, it's not amazing, but you could get very usable drum sounds out of that one. It's definitely not nearly as good as EZDrummer, but it's still an improvement over, most drum modules out there. The thing is too, like, the thing is though, kind of jumping subjects in my mind, but like the module actually is important though still, because having good triggering, Steven Slate, that's what it is. Thanks, Luchito. Sorry, I'm butchering your name. But what was I saying? The module is important because you have to, consider how well it triggers and how well it like sends the data to your computer. Roland modules tend to do this really, really well. Even the older ones, like my TD6 module, still works, pretty darn well as a VST triggering device. Some of the Elisa stuff, like they don't have as many zones, and same with the Simmons stuff. There's like the cymbals are, a lot of them are like single zone on a lot of those modules. So you're missing out on a lot of stuff if you have one of those modules. So it's almost better to look for an older Roland module if you want to just, work, with Superior Drummer or EZDrummer 3 than buy a better or newer Alesis or, some other brand that doesn't have as many zones or as many capabilities. Not that the Alesis stuff, the Nitro module actually triggers quite well. It's just limited on how many zones it has. And same with the Titan 50, the Simmons. Both of those you can get pretty good pretty good triggering from. Dino Fawn says, I have both, but I regret putting a cent into EZDrummer 3. Well, not me. I mean, I felt the opposite. It was Superior Drummer 3 that I really felt regret for in the beginning. But like I said, now it's fine. Anyway, I'm getting tired of talking, so I think I'm going to get off of here, everybody. But thanks for hanging out. And you have any questions or comments, you can post them in the comment section down below. And when I see this again, I will reply to them. Les says, I bought the TD6 because of you, and I love all the fun sounds on that. I hook it up to my mini Lakato set, which I got because of you. LOL. That's cool. Oh, wow, you hook it up to one of those little Lakatos, huh? That's interesting. How does that work? Does that work pretty good? I'd like to hear how that works. One of my students has that little Lakato that I have. And the TD6 is in my teaching studio. And it's hooked up to the Simmons, what is it? The big one. Not the Titan, but the other, the SD whatever. I'm going blank. SD 2000. No, not 2000. SD 1700, whatever it is. 1200, that is. 1250. SD 1250. It's hooked up to that. And I don't have the 3, like, you can kind of hack it to make a 3-zone ride, but I don't have that right now because the kids don't really care, you know. It's just 2-zone, and then I have 2 crashes on it and hi-hats, and it works good on there. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here, everybody. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Check out the new drum covers I've been uploading. You know, I've been doing a lot of drum covers lately. I never really did that in the past, but lately I just been doing a lot, and it's been a lot of fun. That last one that I did, it kind of blew up. I'm kind of really surprised at how many people have been watching and commenting on that. Somebody posted it on TikTok, and it's been bringing a lot of people over from TikTok. I actually did try to post it on TikTok, but they muted my own video. Like, that's why I almost never post anything on TikTok, because they always mute me. Like, it's really annoying. Like, every time I try to post something there, they mute me. Anyway, yeah, I'm really getting off of here. See you guys. Have a great day.